don't have any boogers, right?
Mm, no, no. We're also recording.
I know. I
uh,
realized.
you ever been in an entanglement?
I've never been in an entanglement. Not a day in my life.
No.
I don't want to be entangled.
Mm,
Please.
I think I've. Let's not talk about
Okay. Yeah.
that. For whoever's listening to the show.
Mhm.
Sometimes you never know, man. I get people approaching me who are like, "Yeah, I listen to the show." I'm like, "That's nice. That's nice of you."
Thank you, Barack
Oh
Obama.
my god! Oh my
Oh my
god!
God.
Will Smith is a fan of the show. You
Wow.
heard it here first. Will Smith. So, uh, yeah, we're back again. Fucking remote show again,
Again.
again. And
Again. Again.
dude, I don't even know I don't even know what to say. So for people who are wondering what's what's the situation, um, last week's episode I kind of detailed my experience with COVID-19, the coronavirus. Ah, man,
Miss
I'm
Rona.
I miss the soundboard, dude. I miss the soundboard.
What would you have put there?
I would have had the Cardi B
Oh,
coronavirus.
coronavirus.
Um,
We'll have to add that eventually.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we have been right.
Yeah.
Hold on, sorry.
You're in the
Just
middle
trying
of
to.
a story, Marco.
Yeah, so just trying to keep the timer. Had to have a timer. Anyway, so detailed my experiences with that.
It's been. Mhm.
About um close to a month now since I've been quarantined, and last week after the well, so last Monday I took another test to so I can clear and go back to work and go back to kissing you in the mouth and stuff,
Of course.
and came back with another positive test. So I don't know, man. I mean, we're so a
Are,
couple of
are you
things.
sure they didn't say they're positive, you're negative?
I mean, I asked
Okay.
multiple times, and they're like, "No, dude, you're positive, just positive." And I'm like, "Are you positive that I'm positive, or are you positive that I'm good to go? Like you're
Oh no,
not
it's
good to
a
go."
it's a negative that we're positive that you're positive.
It's yeah.
Oh God, it's
That's
coming.
not COVID.
Okay.
I drank something.
Oh God, oh, Jesus. You just made somebody swerve off the road and die.
So yeah,
Ugh,
another positive test, which means I'm still shedding the virus, which sounds so gross.
that's
It's like
absolutely disgusting.
as I'm walking, it's just like falling off of me. Ugh. So I don't know, man. It kind of gives it. I want to stay strong and keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but it also kind of fuels that part of my brain that questions everything
Hmm.
and makes me just think like, I mean, this is all bullshit. Like I'm not trying to put that message out there, but in the back of my
This
head,
is all bullshit, Marco Dupa.
there was just that little nugget in the back of my head that's like, I mean, they tell you if you're diagnosed, 2 weeks, you chill in the crib, you leave everybody alone, then you should be good,
You're
right?
good.
A month, and I'm still shedding the virus, which I
Yeah.
know that there's, we don't know everything, but it's like I thought some things we knew,
Right.
right? I thought we had kind of wrapped up the basics.
Yeah. That aspect of it, at very least.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I feel like that's what a lot of people are. Even if they're not diagnosed, let's say they feel too sick to even go get a test, or testing takes hours in some places, and they just say, you know what, I think I got it. I'm gonna wait the 2 weeks, and you know, just to be safe.
Yeah.
for all they know, they could still be walking around shedding the virus and
Yeah.
not know it.
Yeah.
And the CDC and everyone else is saying 2 weeks is the standard.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that just goes to show, like, you need to get tested.
Yeah.
You need to, like,
Yeah.
before you're okay again to go out in public, you need to get tested.
Yeah.
So
The flip side of that is that they don't fucking know anything, and that maybe it was a false negative and they don't really give a shit.
or false
Or
positive.
false positive, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, that's been
Because
happening too.
yeah, especially here. We're
Yeah.
the epicenter now. We have more cases than I think New York ever had, or something like that. Like we just the
And
numbers
don't they forget it?
are. we're the leaders of this COVID shit.
I
We're
heard
the
that
front lines.
we're the epicenter of the world.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary for multiple reasons, but the biggest thing is just seeing people acting like nothing's changed around here.
I saw a tweet that said Florida got its record number of deaths, and a lot of this conversation against wearing masks and really against this, the reported science of this has been that, oh well, they're just reporting the so-called cases that they're getting, but a lot of those tests could be flawed. They could be pushing the numbers up just to inflate it. But we're talking about reported deaths now, which I feel like is a different level to this thing. Of course, you can say, oh well, they're just associating it with COVID when it's not really COVID related. Maybe it's the death of like a 90-year-old who just happened to have COVID in the last week of her life or something, and it's not really related. A lot of leaps of logic here, obviously.
Yeah.
But I just feel like reporting on the highest number of deaths that we've seen so far is scary. It should be a wake-up call to people.
Yeah.
Even if these people had pre-existing conditions and are maybe elderly or whatever, it's still the highest number of people dying from this.
Yeah.
Maybe take it a little bit more seriously than you have before.
Yeah. The thing is, you see a lot of people who don't think that it's as serious as other people are making it, and one of their talking points is that, like, look at the survivability rate.
Right.
It's like, look how many people are dying. Like, you you want to tailor the argument so that it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
I mean, look how many people are surviving. It's like, oh, I mean, I guess those people who died can go fuck themselves then, right?
They can't go fuck themselves. They're dead.
Right.
I think the main thing that I've seen that's clear from everyone I've seen online, I don't know anyone in real life who's downplaying it, but
I do.
I'm sure you do. They reek of fear and just wanting this thing to not be as bad as it is.
Yeah.
And I think that ignorance is solely based in them not wanting to realize that our way of living is different for a while.
Yeah.
And it's going to be for a while. There's no cure in sight. There's no vaccine that we're going to get tomorrow and have everyone take, because we know people who are anti-vax now too. It's like, even if they do find the perfect vaccine that works miracles overnight, there's going to be a segment of the population who doesn't take it, and the virus is going to continue to spread through them.
Mm-hmm.
There are different strains. We've seen this pushback for some reason with people not wearing masks that we talked about last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And
it just seems like it's getting worse with that.
Well, yeah, of course. And it's just, I feel like, unfortunately, we found like the Achilles heel of America, and it's that rugged individualism that we all love about ourselves.
Yeah.
It's the sense of entitlement that, like, you're not going to take away my freedoms, even if they protect others that are more in danger than I am.
Yeah.
Because that's the tough guy approach. That's the the Clint Eastwood approach, the John Wayne approach of, like, I'm too tough for a mask.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put on a mask because the big government tells me to. Not even the big government, because they're not even doing that right now.
No.
The nerd over there who's just trying to scare me is not
Mhm.
going to make me fearful of going outside and going to Walmart if I want to. It's like, shut up. Just
Right.
stop it. Stop being selfish, please.
Yeah, and the liberties and the freedoms that are being taken away from people is what? You don't get to show your ugly mug to people?
I
I
have
mean,
to breathe my own air.
what is really being taken from people? I mean, who's I'd like to see. I mean, like Trump people are talking about how the jobs are coming back, the numbers are going up, blah blah blah. So it's like, I mean, how many of these people who are like, you're taking my freedoms from me? How many of them are still out of work? How many of them are not collecting unemployment that in large parts of America is more money than they were making at work?
Right.
When it comes to your actual liberties, I mean, restaurants are opening back up, and
Can't go to a bar. They took that from us.
yeah, well, I mean, these these bars around here, they opened up and then they were like, "Fuck it." They were like, "Oh, we talked about it last week." Some of these, I don't feel any sympathy for a bar owner who's like, "Fuck whatever they say. We're gonna get as much money as we can now."
Right.
It's like,
And
you're not thinking long term.
no, they're not. And I understand the desperation of that, of being closed for months, and then suddenly you get the green light to let people in, and you go, everybody, all the regulars and everyone else who's thirsty for a drink because you haven't been able to go to a bar in forever,
Yeah,
come on in. Doesn't
yeah,
matter about social distancing, doesn't matter about, disinfecting tables or anything. Just come on in. We're not even wearing masks. Forget about it. Just
yeah,
come. I understand that knee jerk of like, we need this right now. We need that money. But you're putting people's lives at risk by doing that.
yeah.
And here we are again. Now that the numbers are back up, bars are closed. And that's just going to keep happening until people take it seriously and we do this, actual quarantine, wearing masks, washing hands as much as possible, and take it seriously this time.
Yeah.
Because we were doing good for a little while there, and then people got restless. And then, our governor decided to, take a back seat to everything and blame local government for, things not going as well as they should have, or completely ignoring it and acting like things aren't as bad as they actually are.
Hmm.
And taking the Trump route and saying, it's just because we're testing more that we're getting more results. I don't even want to respond to that because it's such an elementary idea of, yes, if you test more, you're going to get more positive results. But those people are positive
Yeah.
still. We just know about them now, which we
It just
should.
it, when I just wish that more journalists had a backbone. So when you're sitting there listening to him say something like that, someone can just, Governor, that's dumb. You know, same
Yeah.
thing. I think I said that last week with the president. Like, I just
Yep.
wish that they had more. Just grow a fucking backbone and confront these people when they say dumb things like this.
Well,
Like when the press secretary says we don't want the science to get in the way of our decision making when it comes to
opening
opening the
schools.
schools back up. And then I saw a bunch of people were like, "That's not what she said. You didn't provide the full context." I watched the whole clip. I watched
Yeah.
the whole thing. That's what she said.
The full context was her after that saying, because the science doesn't support keeping schools closed, which it absolutely does.
Absolutely does.
Yeah.
Absolutely
So
does.
the full context of that clip makes it not even a modicum better
Right. So
than the short version.
so you take the short version and you're going, "Hey man, that's dishonest." Okay, fine. Let's watch the whole clip. Oh, she's being dishonest. That's the
Right.
full clip. That's what you wanted was context? Well, she's
There it
lying.
is.
Or
Great.
she doesn't know what she's talking. You know what? We're not going to do this, okay?
Okay.
What
All
we're
right.
going to do.
There's a reason why we said this before we introduced the show.
That's
We
right.
had to get
That's
it out
right.
first.
Yeah, get it out of the way.
Yep.
You
Okay.
know.
We're good. We're good.
That's right.
We're
Shake
good.
it out. Ugh, crack your neck. Crack your back.
Okay.
And then let's now reset. Mm.
All right.
All right. Tonight's brew is from the Sideward Brewing Company. Can you see that? Look at that. Que magnifique. The Star Rider, ladies and gentlemen. New England IPA. Uh, I don't think there's a cold read or any kind of information for it.
There's absolutely nothing on this. Yeah, we can look up the IPA and stuff, or the IPA, the ABV,
Right.
after this.
Right.
But
After this, my name is Marco Dupa. That is Adam Obesius Rodriguez. Hey,
what's up, Brewskis?
this is episode 271 of the One Beer In Podcast.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in.
All right. So, all of that to say that I'm stuck in the house again.
Bump, but
But not much, like, not to say that there was, what did I miss, right?
just your
what did I
birthday.
miss?
Happy birthday, Marco. Guess who's
Yeah.
30 years old?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I turned 30 in quarantine with
the roughest 30, the dirtiest 30.
the dirtiest 30. Yeah. I mean, it was good though. I mean, my family made it, nice. They got me some nice stuff. These headphones, new.
Ooh, Audio Technica, very nice.
Audio Technica. Yeah. So they really showed up for me. So that was nice. It's really weird, man. You take that shit for granted. You go out and just, go on a bender for your birthday, wake up and you're like, I'm a year older. Wow.
Yeah.
What a night that was. And I just drank myself into oblivion. I watched the UFC fights. They were on yesterday, Wednesday of this of this episode. Whatever.
Yeah.
They would know. And yeah, just kind of contemplated life and feeling old. Every person that I talked to, every person who wished me a happy birthday was
How do
like,
you feel?
yeah, you feeling old? How's the knee? So everybody got their old jokes in. It's good. I did something that I didn't realize. I didn't realize the mistake that I had made until I made it, which was I finally pulled the trigger and deleted my Facebook.
Yeah, you did.
A day before my birthday.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of people who were I can only imagine how many people were like, well, maybe they didn't even see it. Well, they had to have seen it a couple of days before because it pops up in like your notifications. But then day of, people are like, is it his birthday? I don't know, because I got a lot of messages on Instagram after Lottie had posted that thing in the stories.
Yeah.
I got a ton of messages after that. But before that, I was like,
crickets.
Which I'm, whatever, dude. I mean, maybe I would have taken it personally when I was like 23 and been like, the fuck, man.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, if nobody wished me a happy birthday, I would have been like, whatever. I turned 30. I don't like people
No
are
one
like,
cares.
I mean, it's like everybody has so much going on that it's like if somebody texts me 2 or 3 days later and they're like, I forgot your birthday, man. The kids or work or school or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it. I don't care.
I think out of all years, this is the year that you have to give people some leeway.
For sure. This is
There's
definitely
so much going on. Time is a figment of our imagination right now. It's just one of those years, unfortunately. I think everybody's kind of going through the same thing. It's like you have a birthday and there's not really much to do because you can't get with your friends a lot of the time, or you can't go to your favorite bar or like make a vacation out of it or anything right now. So It's
Right.
tough, but it sounds like you made the best of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll let you borrow Last of Us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll get into that, and then we'll be able to have a full-on spoiler
I can't.
cast.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I've been
So
holding on to these secrets for so long.
I've been able to avoid spoilers online too. So
Good.
yeah,
Keep it up.
yeah. Because anytime I see a Last of Us post, I know someone's gonna spoil it and be shitty about the women in the game. So
Guaranteed.
I just stay away from them.
Yeah.
So
Good call.
and then we got Ghost of Tsushima that's coming out when this
Tomorrow.
episode comes out.
Yeah.
So we got some, it's that late game or that late era release window where they're like,
Yep.
let's get it all out. You got Destiny 2. They've got some DLC coming out for Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Apparently Overwatch is still going strong. They've introduced new characters, maps. So it's that excuse me. Death Stranding. You're back into Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Or in it. Just in time for them to release a PC version, which apparently puts that old PS4 version to fucking shame.
Yeah. That's been the news.
Yeah, it's like why would you still be playing the
Why would you
PS4 version? You
bother?
fucking
Gross.
idiot! What is wrong with you? So that's an interesting thing because they do a lot of these companies they do that a lot, where they re-release the game or they put they come back with like the DLC or the HD remaster or revisited or what have you.
Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
Game
And
of the
you're
Year
just like,
Edition.
oh, dude, the Game of the Year editions make me so angry. It makes zero. It's like it really is a slap in the face to the people who are
Day
fans
one
of yours.
adopters.
Yeah. I buy the game if I pre-order the game day one, but I don't buy the the super duper gold package, and then a year or two later you release the game at the base price and include all of the DLC.
Right.
I mean, the fuck.
Do you have a spittoon? What?
Don't worry about it, okay?
Baby.
I've got
Yeah.
garbage bags around here.
That's true. However, do you think that there's maybe a tax on being a day one adopter?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, so you said Game of the Year editions usually come out like what, a year later,
Year or two tops.
give or take. Yeah, once all the DLC's out and it's been out for a while, right?
And it's super successful.
Yeah, because the idea of that kind of collection is that they're trying to get people who didn't get into the game at all for the past year and a half, 2 years, just to pick it up is like, oh yeah, for that price, I'll check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the idea would be that you pay a little bit more, sometimes a lot a bit more, to have that experience while it's in the zeitgeist, while it's fresh, while it's new, before everyone else.
Yeah.
So you're basically paying a premium on timeliness of the game.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the Game of the Year edition, you're pretty much, you don't really have much people to talk to about it anymore. It's not like the hip, cool new thing, but you still get the experience of it. But for me, a lot of the times, it's kind of worth it to get the game when it first comes out if it's really good, because then you're able to take part in those conversations and like, I don't know, there's just something to, I think an element of a new game or a new movie or a new album is about timeliness and like if it's making ripples in your community and all your friends are talking about it, there's fun to be had with being part of that conversation while it's happening.
Yeah.
Instead of going back after the fact and like a year later looking up like, oh, what's the spoiler cast for this game that I'm only now getting into? And like, oh yeah, that's cool, but like nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's true. That is that's a big side of it, wanting to be in the zeitgeist, part of the culture. I think the only thing that I would counter that with is, I mean, if you're somebody who doesn't give a shit about that,
Yeah.
you feel robbed. Like, I agree that I like to be a part of the conversation because, you know, I like my voice to be heard.
You
But
don't say.
at the same time, games like God of War or Uncharted is a good example. Those games, those
Which you
games
just
are,
beat
yeah, those games are
Uncharted 4.
evergreen. So
Yeah.
whether I'm in the conversation to talk about how good it was a year ago versus now, I mean, I still felt the same way when I finished that game.
Hmm.
And a lot of these multiplayer games, their shelf life is being extended by these DLCs that you paid extra for when you bought the game day one versus if you jump in like I did it with Destiny, the first Destiny.
Hmm.
I waited. Well, okay, so I bought Destiny um day one, and
Yeah.
then it had a bunch of DLC to come out, and then I turned the game back in, got like half price for it because GameStop's a bunch of rapists, and then I waited a couple months,
Allegedly.
allegedly, and I waited a couple months, and then I got their Game of the Year edition, all of the DLC base price. So instead of spending like 200 something bucks, I basically spent $30 because I got my money back, then bought the game again
Yep.
for the OG price. So I only spent $30 on the full game and all the DLC. And I still obviously have my save profile. So I just jump back in with all
Yeah.
of the DLC. And it's like, it's not like I was want for a player base. The game
Yeah.
is still big. People are still talking about it. And obviously not in the same way that they were when it first came out.
Yeah.
So I
But
get
that's
what
also like that game in particular. I feel like is a unique property and one that I guess isn't super unique because it happens with other games too that start off kind of rocky and end up becoming renowned and like respected games like Rainbow Six Siege, for instance.
yeah.
Started off as not being super popular, but gained a fan base over time. Um, Same thing with let's see, another shooter.
Battlefront.
Uh,
It happened with
yeah,
Battlefront.
that's a Battlefront 2. Ended up turning around after having a terrible launch
Hmm.
um, to being this complete package that people actually really like now.
That's another good one because not only not only is Battlefront um, like a completely different game now, but they offered it for free on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah,
So you could get everything that people in the beginning were like, "What the fuck? Why don't they just include this, that, and the other thing?"
yeah,
You get all of that for free.
right. And I feel like online shooters are like a unique genre within this entire conversation because I mean online games in general I should say um, because they rely so much on people playing them concurrently
Yeah.
to survive because if nobody's playing the game if you're not getting matched up with enough people the game's dead.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how good the game is if nobody's playing it you can't play the game unlike a single player game like Last of Us or Uncharted or anything else like that like there's just nothing really there outside of that online experience for the most part.
Hmm.
So I feel like they're more incentivized to do that and to give new people, a reason to jump in for the first time, even if
Yeah.
they've been out for a while.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think you probably see that more often with those kind of games as opposed to single player experiences like God of War.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, it sucks in a way, but then if you're a fan of the game, it gives you another reason to jump back in, knowing that it got this, new breath of life, and there's all these newbies in there now for you to chew up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
That's true. That's true. Especially you jump into the game and you're like, oh, I'm about to eat some people up today.
yeah. How do you feel about day one consoles?
I'm afraid of day one consoles
Uh huh. Like
because
like roller coasters.
shut up. That's not the same thing. Not
Okay.
even close.
Do you just
Not
not like
even
day one
close.
consoles?
It's not a fear of day one consoles. I just don't like them.
Okay.
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 There's a difference.
Yeah. I shake
Just
my
be,
head.
I think it's the same as getting the first generation of any phone.
Yeah.
Having just being the guinea pigs. Now, I will say that a lot of these companies they're good about, you know, if you get some lemon, then you can send it back, and they're good about helping you out with that. But
Yeah.
still, but still.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like with the PlayStation, for instance, we got ours. You got yours day one. I got mine a couple months after, but pretty close to when it came out.
Yeah. You basically got a launch version of it.
Yeah, and then they come out with a version with higher memory.
Mm.
Then they come out with the PlayStation Pro, and you're just
Right.
like, okay, should I get rid of mine?
Should I upgrade?
I think that there should be like an incentive to do things like that. Like if I should be able to go to like Sony and be like, hey, I have a day one PlayStation, and I should be able to, like a phone, I should be able to go to them,
Yeah.
turn it in, and be like, let me get the Pro. I'll pay, pay like a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
I'd still pay, but it's like I'm not gonna buy a whole new console. That's crazy.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they gave you at least a discount. Like
Something.
take $100 off. Like that.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Something. Some kind of like loyalty incentive to be like, all right, you have a PS4. We want to keep you on the platform. Here's a PS5 for $100 off.
See, I think that right there is the crux of this problem of what we're talking about.
Mm.
Loyalty. These companies do not reward loyalty.
No.
They don't give a fuck about day one adopters to anything. Video games, consoles, any kind of tech. Because they're able
don't
to
have
sell it to so many people. Yeah, they just don't have to.
Yeah.
Why should they give a shit about people who are loyal? It's like, bye, there's the door, dog. We don't care. There's
Right.
millions of people buying this shit.
Yeah,
Millions.
they're making enough money. It's fine.
PlayStation had to double their production of the PlayStation 5 because they were like, we thought, I don't know, 7 or 8 million people were going to buy it. Now they're like, we probably should do like 12, 13 million production just in case.
Yeah.
Because they're going to do those numbers. I
Yeah.
don't know why any company wouldn't. Why would you underproduce? I get the cost of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you go crazy and, have like 50 million PS5s in a warehouse somewhere. But, like with Nintendo, they do it every launch where they underproduce their product. And then it's like, how much money could you actually, like, I imagine there has to be a significant portion of their sales that they lose because people lose interest. I was gonna buy a Switch today, but they sold out and Nintendo doesn't have any. So I'll wait for 6 months, and then 6 months rolls around and it's like, you know what? I'm not in the same financial situation to go out and buy a console. So now I just don't get a Switch.
I'm sure that's a percentage of people, but I guarantee the vast majority of what they get out of that is this renewed demand. People being even more excited about when they find one in stores. And those people just immediately like knee jerk. I see it. I've wanted that. They didn't have it the first time I came here. I see it now. I gotta get it.
Yeah.
So I think they get much more of that than the people who originally planned on getting it and are no longer interested when they do find one.
Good point.
So I think that the artificial demand is what they call it. Really, actually, is only beneficial. Also, to the fact that most of these consoles are sold at a deficit, so it would be very bad for Sony to have too many PlayStations to sell. It wouldn't make economic sense for them to do that. So it's like a gamble. They're gonna try to sell as many as they feel like they can immediately, but also undercut that just a tiny bit so that there's a bit of demand still there for people hungry for the console who are only getting more rabid based on the people that did get theirs and are all over Twitter saying, "Oh my God, this looks incredible on my 4K TV,"
Yeah.
and like are freaking out about it.
Yeah.
So
Don't they?
I
I
think
mean,
that's why.
don't they prepare for losing money on it,
Yeah,
especially
they
in the
do.
first couple of weeks to a couple of months, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's always in the plans because they know they're gonna make that up and then some after the fact.
Yeah.
As long as things go well. But that's part of the strategy is this artificial demand of making them available enough that they make money, but also scarce enough that it builds a buzz and they're not stuck with too much or too many consoles on their hands.
That's kind of fucked up. I mean, think about it.
Capitalism.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to smash the capriarchy or whatever. Anyway,
Capriarchy.
the capriarchy.
Hmm.
Smash that like button.
That's in your knee, isn't it?
The capriarchy. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the only way to down your opponent. You got to
You
smash
have to
that
smash the
capriarchy.
capriarchy.
it's
Like, subscribe, and smash that
smash that
capriarchy.
capriarchy. It's one of the best moves in the UFC.
I love it.
Which, by the way, they're coming out with the UFC 4,
Yeah.
which, I mean, the UFC games have historically been trash. But they're going to have more playable boxers in the game.
Yeah.
Which
is there a boxing mode yet?
I don't know. I don't know the details. I don't know. Maybe because some of the stuff, I mean, they're going to have, fucking the trailer had Israel Adesanya in like a fucking blood sport arena.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And then Jorge Masvidal was fighting back in Miami on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like their story mode is going to be a little bit more invested. And having the boxers in the game is interesting because it's like, all right, so how much are you gonna like when they're what the ratings, for instance, like Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, they can't have. You'd have to put their leg kicks, their
0.
submission defense, their yeah, all of that has to be at 0 and just max out punching power, head movement, footwork. I don't know. The only thing that this excites me about is if they can gauge the interest of having more boxers in the game, maybe, just maybe, they'll stop with this bullshit and they'll make a new fight night.
I think that the reason why we're stuck with UFC games right now is because of popularity and money. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
Because back when the fight night games were out, boxing was the king still.
Yeah.
And
man, they thought they were gonna hold on to that crown forever, man.
I know.
You go back and watch some of these interviews with these guys who were just like, the MMA it's just a waning thing. It's just a here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing. Boxing is a legacy. It's the sweet science. It's been here 100 years. It's gonna be here 100 more.
Yeah.
And now look at it.
Wrong. But yeah, so I mean, I feel like that's the only reason why. I would love for them to even just do like a remaster. Like let's get like a classic mode of like the best historic boxers of all time.
Yeah.
Just put them all in the game. You don't even, like, you can put some of the best current boxers too, but like I don't really care. Just let me play as Arturo Gatti. Like let's get some classics out here.
Yeah.
And just make it a boxing game because like that. Everyone I've talked to who's played the UFC games, including myself.
When you talk to yourself?
When I talk to myself, which is often, agree that the ground game in UFC is trash. It makes no sense. It's overly complicated. It's not. It doesn't come across naturally. It's just too hard. It's too complicated.
And you can't stop the computer from submitting you even at an easy difficulty. They just walk over you. They just do whatever they want to you.
Yeah.
It's
So
not. Yeah.
I think that they need to at least, at very, very, very least, include a boxing mode in the UFC games.
Yeah.
You don't have to make it like, licensed or anything, but just make a mode that only boxing's allowed.
Yeah.
No takedowns, no submissions, just boxing.
You know what I did when I was
It'd be
playing it? I was doing the story mode, and I did what I said earlier. I maxed out my player's boxing and his just his striking, period, and his takedown defense.
Mm.
And then anytime somebody tried to take me down, stuff that head kick. Yeah, I mean, I was basically just a full-on kickboxer.
Yeah.
Won multiple championships in multiple weight classes. I'm a legend. I'm the greatest of all time.
Oh wow! I thought that there was like a story to this, but you're just bragging.
Yeah, no. There's not a story. What story? I'm the greatest of all time.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Look at my PlayStation trophies. Goat.
I'm not gonna do that.
Gautier. Yeah. Somebody
that I used to know.
So I don't know. It looks pretty good, but I hope that they listen to the fans and realize, like, I hope the combat system, the ground game, is like completely overhauled. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same fucking thing, and I'll just wait for it to be put on PlayStation Plus, which 2 and 3 were on PlayStation Plus at some point.
Huh.
So, yeah, I'm not really going to concern myself with it unless I read reviews that they've completely overhauled the game.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, history isn't on your side on that one because a lot of the sports games tend to just be slight tweaks on each other.
Yeah, they really don't. They really don't give a shit.
We'll see though. We'll stay optimistic at least about that.
Yeah.
We can't be optimistic about anything else.
Yeah. We got to hold on to the small victories.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've really they've Dana White has gone full steam ahead, not giving a shit about any kind of, regulations or any of that shit. He's just like, we got Fight Island. That's it. You can't stop us now.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a fight like every other week. And I think not until August are they coming back to the States.
Yeah.
So it's just hilarious to see, because it's like, you have all these people who are saying it's a bad idea to do it, but then you've got all these other people who are like, I need sports. I don't care what sport it is. Just give me something. I don't care if
you die.
I mean, yeah, and then you see it. What happens is something like somebody will test positive, and then it becomes like a headline, and then the UFC just kind of like bowls over it and just keeps they like don't look at that, look over here. We're still, and they just keep going like last week or the week before, the Masvidal Usman title fight wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be Usman versus Gilbert Burns.
Right.
And they just don't talk about it. Mm-hmm. Everyone just acts like that guy wasn't the number one contender, and I haven't heard anything about him since. It's like they black bagged him. He's gone.
Yeah.
I know he's going to get a title shot at some point in the future, but it's like, it's just really funny to see Dana just like, dude, nothing stops this train. I don't care if somebody dies. Nothing stops this fucking train. Yep. And now basketball is coming back. Everybody's in the bubble. And you've got I don't know. Did you see about how they have a COVID hotline?
No.
So they have a COVID hotline for people to call and report COVID violations. And so like a lot of the guys are like, come on, man. We're grown ass men. Let's not do this.
Let's not report on people. Yeah.
But then the flip side is some of these grown ass men can't be trusted, because some guy, I forgot who it was. He's a center. I forgot his fucking name. He went past the quarantine area, and then he had to be quarantined for 10 days because he wanted to pick up Postmates or something.
God damn it.
And it's like, you know what? You're right. You are grown men,
You should know better.
but you don't.
Right.
So it's like, maybe there should be some stupid fucking hotline because you guys can't be trusted to not go past a barrier to pick up your fucking food.
And a lot of these guys are super young too and like immature still.
Yeah.
Got a ton of money, you know, are basically told yes all the time.
Yeah.
So
you got to think like these guys are they're what, 21, 22, 23, and they're millionaires.
Yeah.
Doing the thing that they love.
Playing basketball.
Yeah. Just living the life basically. Mm-hmm. So of course they're like, dude, I'm picking up my cheeseburger. What are you going to do? Tell me no?
I'm entitled for the first time in my life. I'm
right.
Cheeseburger.
I have power now. You're not going to take this from me. Never had power. Ever. My entire life.
Yeah.
So I get it. But also at the same time, don't pretend like you're responsible adults and then do some shit like that and then be upset.
No.
But it is just funny, a bunch of like adults telling on each other.
Tattling.
Yeah. Can you imagine like picking up the phone and you're like, I saw LeBron. He was around the corner. I saw him.
I would do that as like a prank.
Yeah, that'd be funny. It is anonymous, so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You okay?
Weird noises out there. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I heard a rumor that college football is a no-go.
Yeah, as far as I know, as far as I've been reading, I don't know if that's. I mean, a lot of these institutions are like, you know, it would be devastating if college football doesn't come back.
Yeah.
You don't understand like what it will do to our schools' financial situation to not have these things come back.
I heard a lot about UCF. You know, specifically their financial situation is very much in the hands of our football program.
Yeah.
So without them being able to compete, have audiences there, people buying merch, people buying food, et cetera, tickets, it's gonna be a big problem if that doesn't happen. But it's looking like it's not going to happen because I've seen schools already backing out of it. I've heard them saying they're going to close off the competitions to conferences, like everybody has to stay within their own conference, which is awful.
Yeah.
For UCF specifically.
Well, yeah. I was about to say for some conferences, for others, it's still going to be pretty competitive.
Right. So. Yeah, I mean, everything that I've seen online has been like, it's not looking good for this year, for this season, and that bums me out big time.
Yeah. You know, the only thing, this is the thing about all of this COVID stuff, right? When it comes to sports, I'm not speaking on, well, I mean, you can't apply this to society in general, but the only reason that it wouldn't work is because there's too many people that you would have to accommodate for, right? So what I'm saying is, it is fascinating to me that all you have to do is be able to trust people to do the right thing. And because we can't do that, we can't have the things that we love.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard from an insider, I'm not going to say who, with UCF, that a lot of the issue has to do with the season ticket holders, because they have their specific seats already lined up for where they have for the season. They pay for those seats. And, you know, at first I was thinking, well, you know, if they can somehow employ a social distancing mandate that says like, okay, everyone has to be spaced out at least 2 seats, except for parties that come together, right?
Yeah.
If you and your friends, you can sit in your own space, whatever. but you need at least 2 seats in front of you, behind you, and to the left and right. And just do that. It's going to be emptier than it was before, obviously, but at least it'll be somewhat safe. We can call that safe and still go and play sports and make money.
Mm-hmm.
But they brought up that point that these people, pay a premium to have their seats.
Right.
And, as we were talking at the head of the show, there's a lot of discourse as far as like what the facts really are, what's really the science, do I really have to wear a mask? Oh, so there's an entire mix of people who care about COVID and who don't.
Yeah.
And you can't have those people mixing when some really care and some don't. You're going to have these conflicts happen. And then again, people pay for their seats. So, who's going to give up the extra 2, 4, 6, 8 seats potentially
Mm-hmm.
in front and in back of them? Like it's too complicated for them to do that. So that leads me to believe that this season's a wash. I don't think it's going to happen. At least with a crowd. And without a crowd, I just don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah.
So
I think they would.
sucks.
I think that if they were smart, they would at least try to do it without the crowd, at least for the TV revenue, right? I mean, I don't know how much the schools make off of those TV deals, but
ads maybe.
ads,
they can sell ads potentially on the field and find a new revenue source. Maybe they can get sponsors in a new way.
Yeah.
I think this situation's ripe for innovation. Find a new way to make money through it.
Always. These situations are always ripe for innovation.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out new ways of doing things, smarter ways of doing things, more efficient ways.
What if they how about this? Would you watch a college football game if it was like a pay-per-view event?
It would depend on the matchup. I wouldn't just buy
like a season pass
every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you're asking the wrong person. I historically don't really give a shit about college sports. True. But I will say, okay, I mean, I want to watch the NFL. I want the NFL to be back. So, again, it would have to be marquee matchups.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not going to unless you gave me access to everyone.
Okay. Like a college football just packs.
Yeah, like if it was if you made me pay for a Sunday or NFL Sunday ticket, but it was at a discounted price, not something to get people to. I'd probably pay for that.
Yeah, I'd pay for a UCF Game Pass if I was able to just watch all of their games. I'd do that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people who are big college football fans, that's where a lot of their love stems from, is either their school or the school that they're a fan of, and just
it's
following
tribal in a way.
Yeah, definitely. So I think something like that. I think it would work better if it works at all. It would work better with college sports than professional sports.
Yeah,
just because you have more riding on your loyalty to that thing. Mm-hmm. People who follow pro teams are like, maybe I'll watch the Clippers today. I don't give a shit. I'll just watch something.
Right. What's on local?
Yeah.
That's what my parents always say whenever the Yankees aren't on.
What's on local?
Yeah. What's on local?
Who are the other guys playing? Are Braves playing?
At the Tampa?
Speaking of all these teams, the fucking, if you can believe this, the Redskins were actually, I'm sorry, the Washington football team, because they are no longer the Redskins. Insane. I never thought, honestly, dog, I'd see it. The owner, Dan Snyder, he's such an asshole. I thought that, and not in my lifetime, he'd have to be dead. Yeah, he would literally have to die before or be ousted before something happened with that. I am amazed. I mean, it's not that amazing when you think about all it took was money being taken out of his pocket for him to go, okay, I'll come to the table.
Yeah.
But it's still insane that one of these teams, I mean, from social pressure and financial pressure that we're actually going to see the changing of the Washington Redskins. It's crazy. I mean, that team's been a franchise since like the 20s.
Yeah. You can tell by the name.
Right. See, and that's a good point that you make. It's like, dude, and here's the thing. Most people, even people who are like, oh, cancel culture is stupid, and PC culture is stupid, and we're going too far, blah blah blah. Even those people, once you kind of break it down, they go, yeah, I guess you're right. They should probably change that. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's like, yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So if you can get even the shittiest people on the other side of this argument to come together and go, they should probably change that. It's literally a racial slur, and we've all just kind of just look the other way because you don't know any Native Americans.
Exactly. So. Well, and you know why you don't know many Native Americans? Because they're mostly dead. Because they've mostly been eradicated.
Yeah.
So that should be kind of proof positive for you that maybe we should be a little sensitive to this one.
Yeah. Maybe this one.
Yeah.
So now the race is on to see what they're going to change it to, because I've seen some rumors. Somebody was telling me about they were thinking about the Washington Red Wolves. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are like,
I've seen Red Tails.
Yeah, I was going to get into that because that one's a little different than the Red Wolves. A lot of people are saying, look, just change it to like an animal or something. Don't get too creative. Just fucking go.
The Black Panthers.
Yeah, right. Just be real by the book on this one. Just don't try to get too creative. Don't try to get too, social justice-y, because it's just going to come off insincere, which it is.
Right.
So just go generic. There's the fucking Falcons and the fucking Jaguars. You don't have to have some creative name, okay? No. And then the whole Red Tails thing is, a lot of people were like, well, instead of disparaging one group of people, we should honor another group of people. So the Red Tails they're talking about the Tuskegee Airmen.
Right.
But then there's a lot of black folks and a lot of Tuskegee Airmen who are like, I don't know about that.
Maybe don't make money off of us.
Well, and that's exactly it. It's like, okay, so you're going to do it. Is there any kind of reparations coming? Is there any kind of sponsorship? Is there any kind of deal that's going to be made with these people's families? Anything? Are you going to, or are you just going to pull a Lady Antebellum and just steal the name and then act like you're honoring people?
Lady
A.
Incredible story.
Yeah. Have we talked about that?
No.
I don't think we have.
No, we haven't.
I mean, for the people who don't know that story, should we talk about that and then we'll get out of here?
Yeah, briefly. Let's let them know the spark notes of that one.
The spark notes are basically that Lady Antebellum, the country trio, they jumped aboard this whole Black Lives Matter, we're going to take a look at our racial past thing. And they're like, you know what? You're right. We need to make some changes too. And the antebellum South is notorious for being a part of the most racist portions of history in America. Mm-hmm. Like the entire idea of the antebellum South. Just look at Django Unchained.
Yeah,
that's the antebellum South, basically.
Well, and versus like Gone with the Wind, which is a romanticization of it,
right?
Which has happened time after time after time.
Time after time. So they're like, that's a really good song. So they're like, okay, we're gonna change our name so that we're not honoring that part. We're gonna be Lady A. And everyone's like, okay. And then come to find out that there is actually a person named Lady A who has been going by that moniker for the past 20 years. She's a black blues and soul singer. And they were just like, oh, yeah, we see you. Anyway, Lady A. Dude, I went to their Twitter page and they're already marketing it. They're already slapping it on T-shirts and merch and all that stuff.
Yep.
So, Lady Antebellum, Lady A the band, finds out about Lady A the singer, and everyone's like, "Okay, so what are you gonna do about this?" Because she comes out and she's like, "You can't just take my name."
You would think that they would check for something like that before they
They
decided.
100% knew about her, dude.
Yeah.
There's no way that they don't know about her because her music was on streaming services. She's been performing for 20 years.
Do you think the issue was they saw her as being like a smaller artist and
Yes.
maybe not trademarking it in the way that she should have?
That's absolutely what I think happened. I think that their lawyers and their marketing people were like, "Look,
you're in the clear."
Yeah, I mean, who gives a shit? She's just some local artist. No one's gonna know about her. It doesn't matter. And then, but how unbelievably stupid. They need to fire their entire team.
Yeah.
All of their marketing, all of their lawyers, their entire PR department needs to be fired. The optics alone.
Awful.
Awful. How could you think that you were going to slide on this one?
Yeah.
Unreal that they were like, no one's going to know. It'll be fine. Then she becomes famous, like really famous because of this whole thing. They come together, they have talks about who's going to use the name and how they're going to use the name and blah blah blah. Then you come to find out that Lady Antebellum is suing her.
Yep.
Because she doesn't want to give up the name. The only way that she would give up the name is if they paid her like a huge lump sum of money, which she said she would donate the majority of it to charity and then use the other. She said she was going to split it and use one half for charity and then the other half to go through a complete rebranding.
Okay.
Whether you believe that or not, I don't really think that that's relevant to the fact that they stole this lady's name. Yep. And now they're suing her because they're like, well, we're not going to back down now. We already made T-shirts.
We have T-shirts.
We already made tote bags.
What do you expect us to do with these T-shirts?
And it's just like, I mean, it is a resounding failure on all fronts. Yeah. They have not one supporter left. I go to their Twitter page just to see the ratio on their tweets. And it's people, everything that they tweet, people are like, why did you steal the name from that black soul singer? Like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, it's just, we're not giving it to you.
You're not allowed to exist online anymore. Sorry.
I hope that people stay on their throats. I hope that the people stay on their necks about this one until they finally, because what's going to happen is it's going to fizzle out, and then we're just going to kind of forget about Lady A, the singer, and then you're going to see Lady A somewhere, and you're going to be like, what the fuck isn't that one band who, they're still going?
I don't think so.
What do you think?
I think that this is going to linger, and anywhere you see Lady A, you're going to remember, oh yeah, Lady A, that was actually somebody else's name. And they changed that because they want to be woke, and they're actually stealing a black soul singer's name in order to do that.
Come here. Come on. I'm trying to get Frankie.
I'd love a supermodel just to like come into frame.
Here's your supermodel.
Oh, he's beautiful. Oh my God. Frankie. Oh, I miss him so much. Waking me up in the morning, scratching at my door.
Look.
I don't think. Do you think that dogs can see screens? Because I don't think they can.
No, they can. They 100% can because. You're going up there? Okay, you're going up there. Because my parents' German Shepherd has destroyed 2 TVs because he's seen dogs on there and thought they were real, barked at them, jumped, and knocked them off the wall. Smashed 2 TVs.
Okay, so that makes me feel worse because Frank just ignored me.
You can't look at it like that, He's different. He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
It's fine.
But yeah, no, that's interesting because you might be right. People, because this is a big thing, and again, the optics are so bad that it's like now they've become known for this, because it's not like Lady Antebellum was like, I mean, they had their moment where they were huge, but now they're just like one of those bands that's like, it's like Kenny Chesney or fucking any of these other fucking guys they're popular.
Not,
They've maintained a fan base, but they're not like massive draws.
yeah, I mean, maybe it's just me not being a like modern country fan, but I know them as a one-hit wonder. That's it. Need You Now, that was their song. That's it.
Oh yeah, that was their song.
That's it. That's all it was, and it's because it was easy to learn on guitar, and I learned it because it's a nice romantic song that you can play to your sweetheart, and it's great. But
Okay.
that's all I know them for.
Yeah.
Other than this, and this is far outweighing Need You Now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And like I
So
said, I haven't seen any support for them at all.
no,
So I don't know, man. You'd think that at this point, these bands and these corporations and anybody who's trying to like jump on the train, that they would at least do their due diligence first before they stuck their neck out and was like, hey, look at me. I like black people too. But they don't. More and more you're finding out that none of them do. They
no.
all of these companies, like I was just looking at some stat the other day that was like a huge number of big corporations that jumped out in front and was like, we believe that Black Lives Matter and we need to make some changes, have donated millions of dollars to the Trump campaign and to people who you would think are not shall we say, fans of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Didn't you know that Trump has done more for black people since Abraham Lincoln?
That's what I've been told.
Maybe
That's
more.
yeah,
Maybe more.
maybe more. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the numbers
Okay.
before I confirm or deny. He
Please
has
do.
allegedly
Yeah.
done more for the blacks than Abraham Lincoln. So
Love those blacks for Trump.
yeah. Have you how much Goya product you still got left?
As a culturally Puerto Rican man, a lot.
Hmm.
I have a lot. And I've learned from the white people who threw their stuff away in protest not to do that because it's stupid. So I'm
Mhm.
going to enjoy the food I bought because it's good.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. It
Yeah.
sucks that they took that stance.
I loved seeing the people who were like, "Oh, what you're gonna throw your Goya beans out now?" And it's like, you burned socks, bro.
Right, right.
What are you talking about? You need
Yeah,
to shut up. You don't get to be a part of this argument.
no, no. I mean, the entire other side of this is like all of the push that the Trumps have put for Goya products now, which is apparently illegal.
Well, I've been reading up on that a little bit, and it
Uh,
is illegal for apparently it's illegal for Ivanka Trump to do it
okay,
because she's a White House staffer and she's technically an employee.
sure.
But excuse me, there's some kind of clause that prevents the president from getting in trouble for it.
That seems wrong.
Yeah, apparently
If his
it was
staff can
enacted in
not
the
do it,
80s. And that like I mean, he can't obviously just be like you should buy these. Like if he had a vested interest in I think that's the loophole. That he
if
doesn't
he
have a
doesn't have, yeah,
right. So he's not making any money off of this. It's just a political ploy.
right,
Basically just a game they're playing.
yeah,
Which is so I mean, makes it even grosser.
yeah.
Like
In a way,
there's some video of Donald Trump Jr. and he's like video recording and he's like in his bed or on the couch and he's just bad angle. Honey, you made that rump roast. You use those Goya beans, right? Yeah, we're gonna have a good one tonight. All right. It's like you guys are fucking gross. Just disgusting. I don't know.
I like how Ivanka was holding it like it was infectious in some way.
See it?
It looked like she was holding it with as few fingers as possible. Just like,
All right. Get this. Ew, take this from me. I would never. Am I right? Ew, right? Ew. Goya. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about something that's not Goya.
yeah, but also in a can.
How do you like that transition? Something that's not Goya.
It was great. It shows that we've done this show for almost 300 episodes.
Tonight's brewer was from the Sideward Brewing Company. It is the Star Rider. The Star Rider. New England IPA. What'd you think, Obes?
It's pretty good. It was weird for me. At first, I was pretty into it, very dank. But then the more I drank it, strangely enough, the less I liked it. Not to say I don't like it. It's just I think I went from a 4.5 to a 4 is where I'm at right now. And for some reason, the sharpness of this, like, kind of burns the back of my throat in a really uncomfortable way.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a me thing, but like, I noticed it with the that coconut IPA they put out too, the couch surfing.
Yeah.
It had the same effect on me, and I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's just the level of either bitterness or something that just kind of it gives me a really uncomfortable back of the throat scratchiness. That I'm not enjoying so much.
Interesting.
That overpowers it to me. It almost feels like a digestion feeling, like it's kind of like spicy in the back of my throat.
Yes, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so that took it down a notch for me, but it's very fragrant. It's very bitter. Two things I definitely like in my IPAs, but I'm gonna stick to a 4 for this guy. If you find it, recommend it. Decently high ABV. I think it's a 7.9%. But yeah, just that lingering back of the throat feeling kind of drops it down a notch for me.
Yeah. All right. I was just gonna go 4 off rip. Like you said, very fragrant. I love the smell of it, taste of it. It is. I think it's just too bitter.
Yeah.
It's bitter. It's. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I don't want to say chalky, but just like it's just like too. It's just, I guess, the mouthfeel of it is like too much. Mm-hmm. Something like, I mean, it literally it is like as you described it. Like it tastes good, but like there's just that feeling of it that just like the more you drink it, you're like, I don't really want to drink any more of this.
It hurts. It hurts.
It hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you want some?
I'm glad you panned down and it was a dog.
Hey, you want some? Anyway.
Yep.
So we're giving it a unanimous 4. 4.
All
right. I think we got it.
I think we got it.
What do you think, Frank?
Oh, Frankie.
Let's try one more time. I think he's looking at you.
He's looking.
Look there. Look there, dude.
He's not looking at me.
Well, I can't. Well,
Frankie!
The thing is, I can't get him to focus on much else anyway. Look, right there.
Oh,
no.
Please, sir.
Here. Look.
He looks worried. Oh, God. He's looking away from me.
Oh. That's my little Muppet. Come on, bud. Look right there.
He's still licking, which is promising.
Yeah.
Oh, Frankie.
So, unanimous 4. Unanimous 4 for the Star Rider. This has been the One Baron Podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, boy.
And for Frankie, for Franklin L. Bowman.
Woof.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have a beautiful evening.
We love you.
Get out of here.
Get
on, get.
Go on, get.